Well, hope everyone's doing well today. We are just wrapping up a weekend where really a 7-day period where we drove out from Pennsylvania to Newport, Rhode Island on Monday, spent the evening and night there, drove to Boston the next day for lunch, drove back to Pennsylvania that afternoon. 2 days later, drove out to DC, spent a couple nights there. Just drove back yesterday. We've been putting about 1,000 miles a week on this diesel-powered F-150 lately, and it's just been running like a champ. You see the MPGs there. It's averaging 30 miles to the gallon over about a 200-mile trip, and that was our return from DC to Pennsylvania yesterday. Absolutely stellar powertrain. Unless you really want to be going 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, in which case, yeah, get the high output EcoBoost, get the power boost. But if you really just want to drive the hell out of your truck day and night, put tons and tons of miles on it, lots of long road trips, lots of towing, you really want the diesel power plant. And what we have heard just yesterday, well, a couple days ago, is that Ram is discontinuing the 3-liter EcoDiesel in their 1500 series pickup, in their light-duty pickup. I think they said January of next year, January of 2023, which is, as far as we're concerned, that's a travesty. And we saw an interview with the head of the Ram brand, and he was saying, oh yeah, we're going full on with electrification, full speed ahead, and curtain call for the EcoDiesel. Well, that's just a part of it, and we're getting ready to electrify this truck. And it just seems extremely short-sighted in a lot of ways, a whole lot of ways, as does their decision to get rid of the gas-powered Charger and Challenger, I think at the end of next year, so in just over 12 months. It seems like they're getting way ahead of things. And with the cars, at least you can halfway understand it, because electric cars are a halfway plausible proposition, since you're not going to do a ton of towing with a car, generally speaking, especially not with a muscle car. You're not even going to be doing a lot of road trips with a muscle car. Muscle cars are not meant for driving across country. So you can almost kind of halfway see where they're coming from in terms of getting rid of the gas-powered Charger and Challenger, even though, as far as we're concerned, it's a dumb idea. It's way ahead of getting way ahead of things, because most people are not yet ready to make the jump to EVs. And with a muscle car, half the attraction of the muscle car is that loud, rumbling V8, that whine from the supercharger, shifting gears, all that good stuff. What the hell is that thing? And so it just, we hate to see the Charger and Challenger go. Those are great cars. Haven't had a lot of updates in recent years, but they really don't need it, because for what they're built to do, they do the job just great. I mean, the underpinnings, it's not the exact platform from the E-Class from the 1990s, but it's a lot of parts. That 5-link rear suspension, a lot of the parts, inside the platform, if not the exact, the specific platform itself, come from the E-Class Mercedes from 20 plus years ago. But again, it's a great car, and it does a great job. And I don't think a lot of people are happy. I don't know of anybody that's happy to hear that they're getting rid of the Charger and Challenger. And then with the EcoDiesel Ram, it just doesn't make sense to us. The kind of person who's going to buy a diesel-powered light-duty pickup truck buys it really for 2 reasons. One, because they put a ton of miles on it on the highway. And second, because they do a lot of towing. And for both of those applications, an electric pickup truck is completely unsuitable, not even remotely suitable as a replacement. Again, we go We've been going 1,000+ miles per week in this thing, 5-6 hours at a time, all over the Northeast. And the last thing you want to do when you're trying to get somewhere and drive 200, 300, 500 miles in the course of a day is to have to stop and charge for 40+ minutes. Again, the Tesla we had a Tesla Model S for 2 years. Great car in a lot of ways, but its Achilles heel was and remains long distance driving. That car took an 8-hour drive from Michigan to the DC area, and it turned it into a 10.5 or 11-hour drive with 3 charging stops. And it was even worse in cold weather because it had an advertised range of 268 miles, which, oh, by the way, is just a little bit more than the advertised range on that F-150 Lightning. But you never, ever were going to see 268 miles out of it. The most we ever went on a good day was 175 or 180 miles. And so that means for about a 500-mile trip, like the one we took frequently from Michigan to DC, we were stopping 2 or 3 times to charge it. And not just charge it a little, but charge for 40 to 50 minutes. And so that car was completely unsuitable for long road trips, as is an electric pickup truck like the F-150 Lightning. And then you put a trailer onto it, and we've been saying this for more than a year. To anybody who will listen, you put a trailer on an electric pickup truck, and you can kiss any range goodbye, because you're talking at least a 50% reduction in range. So that 230-mile range on your F-150 Lightning is dropping to maybe 100 if you keep the speed down. So now you're driving for an hour and a half or so and charging for 40 to 50 minutes. And that means your 8-hour road trip is turning into a 12+ hour road trip. Really not what you need when you're trying to get somewhere. And so that's why, again, Ram getting rid of the EcoDiesel powertrain in that light-duty pickup, that's, as far as we're concerned, that is a ridiculous, absolutely absurd decision. And the only thing we can assume is that, well, maybe they just weren't selling that many, or maybe they were having a lot of warranty claims on that powertrain, because we keep hearing about people having problems with them, with the DPF, with the EGR. Massive problems with those two systems. And well, they just didn't feel like paying for all those repairs and selling more and more EcoDiesel powertrains and incurring massive liabilities on the balance sheet for future warranty repairs. So they just said, to hell with it, let's get rid of it. Maybe there was something going on in the factory that built that engine. I think it comes from Italy, and maybe they were trying to get rid of it. But I think they just introduced a new version of that engine a year or two ago. So again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're the kind of person who does a lot of driving in your 15 series or light duty pickup, and you do a lot of towing in your 1500 series light duty pickup, you're going to want the diesel engine. And that's why we love the hell out of this F-150. We got this diesel F-150. We got it about 6.5 months ago. We're coming up on 25,000 miles. Couldn't be happier. It's just a phenomenal, absolutely spectacular powertrain. And being middle-aged, we don't have that need to go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds anymore. We're kind of done with that phase, and so we don't miss it. The only time it comes up a little bit short on power is if you're towing a trailer with a lot of drag and you're going uphill, because the transmission wants to get into the top gear and stay in top gear, and it doesn't like to downshift. And that's really the only weakness that this powertrain has. So I guess the advice from me to you, if you think you might have a need for a diesel-powered light-duty pickup, get one while you can. We happen to like the Ford a whole lot. If you like the Ram, if you like those interiors, if you like something else about that truck, get yourself an EcoDiesel while you can, because It's September now. The clock's ticking, and starting in 4 months, you will not be able to get a new one. It's just a damn shame. We would hate to think that there's some political motive behind their decision. But it sure looks like it. Don't want to speculate on that. Again, the Charger and the Challenger, that was bad enough, and now the EcoDiesel Ram, that's just absolutely tragic. What are you gonna do? Like we said, if you think you might possibly have a need for one, you really owe it to yourself to get one as soon as possible, because at this point it's basically impossible to get a new diesel F-150. 6 months ago there were still maybe a dozen or 2 dozen left on the dealer lots. Now they're probably all gone. You can get yourself a Silverado if you are okay with driving that truck, which we have no particular regard for. And now the Ram is being discontinued, and pretty soon, like I said, all you're going to be able to get is a Silverado, and who knows, maybe they'll get rid of that one too. Anyway, there it is. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.